Scroll through your social media feed right now and you'll see a dozen guys telling you to cut carbs, massively cut calories, or fast for 16 hours. It's a toxic culture, and basically, they're selling you a ton of crap so that they can get clicks.
What if we told you that we have a better method that helps you stop restricting, enjoy your life and your foods, and get you those results that you've been chasing?
It sounds impossible, but it works. And today, we're going to tell you how.
Welcome back to the Outlifting Lounge. I'm Alan.
And I'm Derek. This is the show that's all about pride, fitness, and everything in between.
We're calling it the BS surrounding nutrition in the second half of the show. But if you can't wait to fix your relationship with food, jump to that chapter right now.
But if you want to hang around for a while first, we're going to discuss the latest announcements from the world of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we're going to talk about some good news from World AIDS Day.
Okay, let's get into it. Right, will we kick off with the Drag Race announcements, your favourite subject?
Yes, you know me, I can talk about Drag Race until I'm blue in the face.
Yeah. Okay, Drag Race season 18. Go for it.
It was a very exciting week because Drag Race US season 18 promo trailer dropped and the Meet the Queens dropped. I have to admit, I have not watched the Meet the Queens because it is over an hour long and ain't nobody got time for that.
And I think that just proves the point that I said last week. There's too much Drag Race.
No, I still don't agree. I still don't agree. I'm quite excited for the season, and I think that it's a bit of fresh blood coming into it because they're all a little bit older.
Define older.
Well, you might hit me when I say this, but apparently from what I've heard, all of the queens that are competing this time around are over the age of 30.
Clutch heroes, fan face.
But when you compare that to, for instance, the last season that just finished of Drag Race UK, that is a bit older. They've got more experience under their belt, put it that way.
Oh my God, if they're older, what are we? Ancient.
Granddaddies.
Oh no. I'm just accepting our daddy era. We're not jumping to granddaddy era already.
No, definitely not. Do you know what? I'm just happy that there is maybe a bit more experience in this cast. I think it'll be a really good season. The promo in particular looks phenomenal.
Yeah, the promo looks really, really good. It's really stunning, actually.
I want to give a shout out to queer visual artist Romain Gauthier, who produced that promo. Absolutely incredible work.
And I really love the tagline of the season as well. In shady times, let there be light. And right now, I think that is so fitting because that's what we need.
And especially for the American season, because let's face it, everything over there is a bit of a show at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously we love a drag queen name because you've got about 20 names for yourself. What's your favourite name for the new cast?
Do you know what? There's actually not much competition because I think that there's only a couple of the queens that have like pun drag names.
Yeah.
But my favourite one is Kenya Pleaser.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Have we mentioned what our drag names are? Not that we have like drag personas, but
if we were ever going to do drag,
yeah.
I don't think we have. So, Alan, you are. This works on a lot of levels, right? This Alan's drag name that I have come up with, which he hasn't used yet, obviously, because he hasn't done drag, but it works on a lot of levels.
Levels. That was a good pun. Well done.
Yeah, because Alan is of a short level.
I'm a short arse. I'm 5'5".
So Alan is a short arse. Alan is Scottish, and Alan has a bladder that is the size of a pea, like an actual pea. We cannot leave the house without 5 minutes later Alan say like, "Oh, I need the toilet."
I actually need a pee right now.
There we go. So Alan's drag name is Anita Wee.
I do like that. I do like that. So maybe for Pride in May, we need to go out and drag, and Anita Wee will come to life.
And then I can bring up my drag persona as well then.
You've got like 20, so which one are you choosing?
So if I was to do drag, I think I would like to have the body oddy oddy.
Body oddy oddy.
Body oddy oddy. So I would be shaped. I would have half a sofa stuffed into my tights. Cinched the whole lot. So my drag name would be Paddy Durse, the little D apostrophe. Paddy Durse.
So what's the relevance of that?
Because I would have a padded arse.
Because you're Irish?
And I'm Irish.
There we go.
So Anita Wee, Paddy Durse. Season 8 of Drag Race UK.
No, there's too much Drag Race.
Or if we get our Spanish good enough, we could be on Temporada 6 of Drag Race España.
Yes. Or All Stars.
Well, you're going right into the next thing. So Drag Race US Season 18 starts on the 2nd of January. Something to look forward to.
Don't think I'm ready for another one.
Blow away those New Year's blues.
Less than a month away. Okay.
Yeah. And let there be lights.
And let there be light. And do you know what brings light? Stars.
Oh, more specifically, All Stars.
I think that was the cheesiest thing we've ever done.
That was a good segue.
That was good. We have done. Let's high five for that.
Yes. Oh, that's totally off camera, by the way. But yeah, Drag Race España, which is our favorite franchise, have announced this week Drag Race España All Stars 2.
Can't
We-
wait.
It's something that we said that we were hoping for at a previous episode, so I'm taking full credit. I think they've commissioned it based on the strength of our podcast with our handful of listeners.
We manifested it. Yeah, I know I've said there's too much Drag Race at the minute, but I'm quite happy that there's a Drag Race España season 2.
Yeah, we'll always make an exception for Drag Race España.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I don't know what it is about. It's not even the caliber of drag queens that are on it. It's just, and we've spoken about this before, it's the family and it just feels so special.
Yeah, like the episode a couple of weeks ago, which was like the actual final proper episode before the finale tonight.
Yeah, all the judges were in tears. The host Supreme Deluxe was in tears because they actually care about the contestants. And we were in tears as well because it's just such a special, special season. So yeah, Drag Race All Stars 2 is going to be amazing. So who do we want to see in season 2?
In season 2, I want another Canarian drag queen. So I want either Drag Volcano from season 1 or Drag Chuchi from season 3.
Yeah. So for me, I think Clover Beach from Barcelona, the first cis woman to ever compete on Drag Race España. She was brilliant. She was one of my all-time favourites.
We really liked Clover Beach, and I think we liked her for 2 reasons. Number one, we could understand her when she spoke Spanish because she speaks really clearly, but also her creativity was so good, and she has this really bubbly, infectious personality. She's a really good queen.
Yeah, I think we really warmed to her as a person, and then to as a drag queen because she's lovely.
Yeah. I would also really like to see Kelly Roller make a comeback. Now, she was also on season 3. She was eliminated in one of the early episodes, like episode 4, but then she got brought back and she ended up making it all the way to the finale. She's so good, so talented, and easy on the eye out of drag.
Well, if we're talking about easy on the eye out of drag.
Oh, I know exactly who you're going to say.
Who?
Maggie?
Yes. Maggie's yellow. You know how they always talk about the trades of the season? I think Maggie is probably the trade of all seasons, all franchises ever produced.
So Maggie Yellow was
Pit crew.
Pit Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maggie was Pit Crew for the first 3 seasons, and I think in All Stars season 1, and then came back as a fabulous drag queen.
Yeah. Okay, one more. Who are you going to go for?
I've got 2, and I'm going to mention them both, and then I'll just pick one.
Make a decision.
So from season 2, Estrella Extravaganza,
Yes.
and then from season 4, Chloe V2.
That is a tough choice, actually.
And one of my reasons for Chloe V2 was because she gave one of the funniest Snatch Game performances. I think we watched that and rewound it and watched again and again, and we were on the floor crying with laughter.
Please tell me you're going to put the clip on the YouTube video.
Are you allowed to? Well, I don't know if I can because I might need to blur out the offensive object. But basically, somebody throws an object to her, and the way I would describe this object is if you wanted to make some bread, so you would make a dough, and if you wanted to flavor it with a herb, maybe dill.
It's like, where are you going with this?
So somebody threw the dough to her, and she then stuck it to the table and couldn't get it back off.
The thing that makes it so funny is I'm actually crying with laughter right now, is the panic in her eyes trying to get this object off the table. Oh my God.
Drag Race España is a whole other level.
Anytime I need cheering up, I just watch that clip of that video. It is
Okay, I will put the clip in the video version of this. So obviously, if you're listening to this on one of the streaming platforms that we use, you might want to check out the YouTube video so that you can see what we're talking about. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
it's brilliant.
So, shall we talk about the other topic that we wanted to talk about, which was some good news that came out on World AIDS Day?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, Monday was World AIDS Day, and on that day, there was an article published in New Scientist magazine about a man who has become the seventh person to basically become free of HIV after he was treated with a stem cell transplant to treat his blood cancer.
Yeah, he's actually the second of 7 who received stem cells that weren't actually resistant to the virus.
Yeah, which is really, really good. So, from what I understand of the article, basically, this is now giving scientists a new way of thinking about this, that it might not actually be necessary to use HIV resistant cells to treat it, and it could potentially open up the gateway and the pathway to a cure eventually.
It doesn't mean that there's a cure around the corner because stem cell treatment isn't going to be suitable for the vast majority of people with HIV.
Definitely the best way that we have got to treat HIV at the minute is antiretrovirals and also prevention as well. So things like PrEP and good old fashioned condoms.
Yeah, PrEP has been brilliant in bringing down the transmission rates within the community, especially for gay and bi men. And actually, there's the new injection as well that's just come out.
Yeah, I think you're talking about lenacapavir. So that is the injection that's taken twice a year. And it basically works like PrEP. And it means somebody doesn't have to take a tablet every day. And I think in September that got approval in the EU. It's already been approved in the US. And I think it hasn't been approved in the UK yet, but I think that the body that looks after that kind of thing is due to meet to discuss it in March. So fingers crossed, hopefully it becomes available in the UK quite soon.
Yeah, really positive news. So looking forward to hearing more about that in the new year. Right, shall we move on to the fitness section?
Let's do it. Welcome to the fitness section of today's show, and we are looking at why extreme diets fail gay men, and we're going to tell you what actually works. So, Alan, do you want to kick us off with talking a little bit about what we experience as online fitness coaches?
I think when guys sign up with us, they always think that the gym is going to be the hardest part of their journey, when actually the hardest part is nutrition, and it's the fear surrounding nutrition because there's so much misinformation out there.
I think we've lost count of how many times that a new client has come along to us and they tell us that they have tried to eat clean in inverted commas before. And what generally ends up happening is they last for a few days, maybe Monday to Thursday. Then the weekend hits and they maybe have some drinks, they eat out, they do whatever. And then by the time that Monday rolls around again, they get that Monday morning guilt. And it's guilt that they're very much putting on themselves.
And that's where restriction can then come in because they've maybe overdone it at the weekend. And so they start restricting, and then that just creates that cycle.
Yeah, that cycle of guilt that is really toxic. And when you break it down and you understand it, it's absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem for so many men in our community because there's so much misinformation out there and conflicting information as well. And especially the word diet, I think it has so many negative connotations to it, and we never use it because of that.
The problem is that there is actually nothing wrong with the word diet itself, but it has become a dirty word because it's used very negatively. That is reinforced through people's experiences or maybe what they see their friends going through when they're going on these quote unquote diets. They become restrictive, they become destructive, they signal misery for people. I think that in essence is the problem.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there because there's been so many guys that I have spoken to before, and I've said to them that, you haven't failed. It's actually the diet, inverted commas again, that has failed you.
What I have found from dealing with clients is that it's very simple to fall into this all or nothing trap. And that's what a lot of these diets are essentially. It's like you have to go all in, you have to go hard with these rules. And it's diets maybe like the keto diet or the paleo diet or the one that I absolutely despise the most, which I've heard of so many times, the 1200 calorie diet.
Again, all fad diets that are over restrictive, and you don't need to be doing that to get the results that you want. I actually thought I was biting my lip there because I actually thought you were going to say no carbs. And the phrase that I absolutely hate, no carbs before marbs. If I could find the person that invented that, I would actually throttle them.
Well, I think that came from Toei. I think that was like a Toei thing where they were doing this like special where they went to Marbella, and that was like a mantra that they used was no carbs before marbs.
You're cutting out a whole food group.
It's not sustainable, and even that slogan, no carbs before marbs, it is signaling that it's a quick fix, that you've got an immediate target, you just need to maybe lose some weight quickly. But the problem is that it's not sustainable, it's doing damage to your body, and it's really not healthy.
That's the thing. When you restrict yourself, then your body's going to fight back. You know, it's survival mode. So you'll find that your energy in the gym is absolutely rock bottom.
Never mind even just the gym, like your energy in everyday life. There's no way that your brain can function on such a restricted diet. For instance, the 1200 calorie diet, quote unquote, that isn't a diet, that is a starvation plan. You're not giving your body what it needs to actually just even function.
And again, I'm going to line that person that invented that phrase and the no carbs before marbs together and just bash their heads together. For anyone that wants to build muscle, you can't build muscle on fumes, which is exactly what you're going to be getting on 1200 calories.
Exactly. And the thing is, if you do try to run your body on fumes and you're not giving it what it needs, what's going to end up happening?
Binging.
You're going to crash, you're going to binge,
Yeah.
and that's just going to lead you into a cycle, a very toxic cycle. And that's why so many people yo-yo diet.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you restrict something, you binge on it, you restrict it again, you binge on it. So it's just trying to break that cycle. And just come back to carbs because they're demonized so much. Carbs are your body's main fuel source. So if you're not fueling your body, it's not going to run properly.
The problem is as well that this leads to a craving paradox, because the more you restrict or say, I can't have that, the more your body wants it. It's just the way humans are built. And that is what leads to eventual binging.
Absolutely. Now, here's a question you should ask yourself before you change your nutrition. Can you see yourself eating like this for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, it is absolutely not the way to go.
Yeah. And I think in this day and age as well, things have changed a little bit. It used to be more about these fad diets. So maybe going back 20 years, it would have been that a new book came out and that would have been the fad diet that everybody wanted and everybody bought the book. Nowadays, I think it's much more geared towards influencers online. And one thing that really boils my piss is these influencer videos on TikTok, on Instagram, and it's like, here's what I eat in a day. And sometimes it is useful, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's quite realistic. Often, no, it's not. And it's not. That these influencers are trying to paint this perfect, rosy image of their life, this perfect diet that they have. And that in itself is really toxic as well, because it makes you feel that you are inferior, that you lack the discipline to do this, that you're not as good as this person. And that in itself gives you a negative view of how you approach nutrition.
People have different goals, people have different caloric needs. So what someone else eats might not be what you need. So yeah, click on it, have a look at it, maybe take a wee bit of info from it, but do not follow what they're doing.
The advice that I would give is, if you're following an account online and they make you feel negative feelings when you watch those videos, rather than feeling genuinely inspired or you feeling like you've been educated properly on something, unfollow those accounts.
Yeah.
Don't watch them, block them, mute them, whatever you need to do, because letting that into your life is not good for you. So we have discussed the problem, I think here. We've identified what the problem is. Shall we go on to talk about what we see as the solution to this?
So the solution that we feel works best for our clients is the 80-20 rule, and it really takes a bit of a mindset shift for clients to follow it.
And as we have found, that mindset shift does not come immediately. It normally takes a few weeks for them to really get it. Like, how many times have we taken on a new client and we have set a calorie goal for them to meet each day? And we find that they are under eating and they're not hitting their calorie goal because they have this idea in their head that they need to eat less to hit their goals, despite the advice that we're giving them.
Yeah, that happens all the time. And we understand it because it comes from that fear and also that misinformation and the over restricting that we see happen time and time again. And it's about trusting in the process and them believing that what we are telling them is the right thing for them to do. And when and once we explain it as we have already given you a calorie deficit, if it's a fat loss plan that they're on, we've given you a calorie deficit within the calories that we've provided. If you eat under that, you're then in a double deficit. So it's about explaining that concept to them, but also we need to meet them where they are as well. So if they're not comfortable reaching that goal, what we do is, okay, well, you're eating here now. Let's build that up gradually over the week so that they can see that actually eating more isn't going to mean that they're going to put on weight.
What most people don't realize is that not eating enough calories is dysregulating to your body. So making sure that you're eating enough is important because that helps you regulate stress, it helps you regulate your hormones, and both of those things actually help to aid weight loss if that's what your goal is.
Absolutely agree with you. And that's why the 80-20 rule is so important.
Yeah. So today, that is our answer. Our answer is the 80-20 rule. So that is the golden ratio. Rather than go on a restrictive diet, rather than worry too much about foods being the enemy or things that you can't eat or denying yourself what you want, we advocate for most people, and this is suitable for most of the clients that come to us. 80% of the food that you eat should be nutritionally dense. It should be food that feeds and fuels your body correctly. Fresh foods, freshly prepared foods, fruit and vegetables, food that most people would consider as healthy. The other 20% is stuff that you enjoy eating. It's things that you want to eat. And they are probably foods that a lot of people would consider as bad foods, again in inverted commas, or foods that they might not see as healthy. But it doesn't necessarily need to be that way.
Yeah, and the mindset shift that we ask clients to do when we talk about that 20% is we talk about them as foods that are more indulgent. You know, they're not treats, they're not rewards.
Because you're not a dog. You
Exactly.
don't
Yeah.
need to be rewarded with treats. You don't need to view food as something that is a reward for behaving well.
Yeah. There's no good food, there's no bad food, there's just foods. And once you make that mindset shift, it makes that 80-20 rule so much easier.
And the thing is, if 80% of the food that you're eating is well balanced, fresh, nutritionally dense food, that will actually leave you feeling fuller. So you will break that kind of craving cycle. And over time, within maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of eating this way, you'll find that the cravings dissipate very, very quickly. And if you do then have a craving, it's not as if you can't eat that food. You can, but it's all about balance.
Yeah, I think we need to break free from this moralizing food. You know, food is fuel, it's there to be enjoyed. You should never feel guilty for eating food. And quite often, going back to that Monday cycle that you mentioned earlier, when clients come on to me on a Monday on their check-ins, I can tell that they want to tell me that they've been bad, inverted commas again, at the weekend. And my first question is, did you enjoy yourself? Did you enjoy that food? Yes, great. Let's move on.
I think a really good example of that is our client, Drew,
Mhm.
who did not sacrifice his social. He had a great social life while he was on his program with us.
Mhm.
And in those first 3 months on the program, he smashed it.
Yeah.
He lost quite a lot of weight.
12
He
kg.
12 kg. He built muscle as well. So that makes that weight loss even more phenomenal. And he just looked like such a happier version of himself because he trusted the process. It clicked for him really quickly. And he realized it was not about deprivation. It wasn't about missing social events. It was about changing your mindset so that you can enjoy those things at the same time as owning your nutrition, owning your exercise, and owning your life.
Drew, as an example, is about sustainable results. He understood that it was a lifestyle change that he was making, and it wasn't a crash, inverted commas, diet, because a crash diet is exactly that.
I think it's probably well named as a crash diet because you're okay doing it for a little while, but then you crash.
Yeah, crash and burn,
Crash
absolutely.
and burn,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you'll see time and time again that when people go on a crash diet, they lose a ton of weight. Amazing, because it takes dedication and hard work to do that. But usually they put the weight back on again.
And then some. I think that the approach that we advocate for, the 80-20 rule, yeah, you might lose weight slower than you would on one of these crash diets, but it's sustainable and you will keep the weight off. We've seen it with Drew, we've seen it with so many other clients because it's almost like a re-education. It's forgetting and unlearning all of the nonsense that has somehow made it into your brain through magazines, through TV shows, through influencers, and realizing that that's not fact, that those are just opinions and people trying to sell you nonsense. What is fact is really quite basic and really quite simple.
And someone else who has learned about sustainable weight loss is Fraser. He's been on such an incredible journey. And one of his fears is going back to his old habits and putting weight back on again. Now, we're reverse dieting him at the minute. We're bringing him out of a calorie deficit and bringing him up to maintenance calories. He is eating more calories than he is eating in a long while. He's still losing weight, and he's the lightest he's been since he was 13 years old, which is just incredible. And the work that we're doing with him is around the mindset, and it's don't fear food. You can eat more and still lose weight, but we need to make sure what works for that person. So I think that's probably our overarching comment here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't fear food.
Fraser's a prime example, Drew's a prime example. We could name so many other guys that we have worked with who, when they let go of the guilt and they let go of the confusion, they let go of the quote unquote dieting, and they just get on with living under this very simple 80-20 rule, they find it enjoyable, they get good results, and they love their relationship with food, they're loving life. Shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Okay. In summary, don't think of food as good or bad. Forget fad diets that overly restrict you and eat what you want in moderation with the 80-20 rule. Remember, as always, we love to hear from you. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us. The address is podcast@outlift.ing. And also, if you do not follow us on social media already, why not? Give us a follow. We're on TikTok, we are on Instagram, and our handle on both is the same. It is at outlift.ing.
Oh, and we have a favor to ask as well. If you're enjoying the show, we would love it if you can leave us a review or a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you use to tune in, and that will help us reach more people.
Don't forget, new episodes of the Outlifting Lounge are available every Sunday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music.
So subscribe to stay up to date with the conversation.
As always, thank you for tuning in. But for now, over and outlifting.